Okay, so TikTok works on this. And let's see about this live over here. Okay. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to switch this. What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Just give me a minute. Let me get this setup going. And we go get straight into it. I want this here. And I want this here. What up? What up? What up? If you're tapping in, I'm just getting these cameras going. I'm doing excellent. Thank you for asking. How are you? What up? What up? What up? So today's a live about body recomposition. So we're gonna get into that just now. Just give me a second. Okay. Make sure we got this going. All right. Okay. So basically, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. All right. So basically, today we're going to be talking about body recomposition. That's my objective of today. I want to talk to you guys about the 7 steps, 6 essentially, 1 bonus that I used to have a successful body recomp, and what majority or what it entails to have a body recomp. Okay, so we're going to get into that. If you have any questions, do let me know. I am reading this on my own. We got 2 cameras going, so do be patient with me. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Okay, I'm going to be on every morning at 6:30, essentially 6:30 to 7:15. So I'm not going to waste no time. Let's get straight into it today. Okay, so body recomposition. All right, so what body recomposition is, it's the process of burning fat and building muscle simultaneously at the same damn time. Now, it's scientific. It's not the same as a weight loss goal. It's not the same as a weight gain goal, because those are more easier. They're just simple processes that you got to do. Eat more calories or eat less calories and you'll be able to attain that goal. Now, body recomposition is a little bit tricky because you have to do a scientific process where there's a lot of components that need to come together in order for you to have a successful body recomp. If you're not successful in having all those components come together, then it's not going to work and you're going to be frustrated and you're going to be wondering why you're not getting the result that you want. Okay, so these 6 fundamentals are the components that need to come together in order for you to be able to have a successful body recomp. If you're doing, oh sorry, let me just fix this real quick. If you're doing number 3, but number 1 is off, you're not going to have a successful body recomp. Okay, if you're doing number 4, but you're not doing number 3, you're not going to have a successful body recomp, and you're going to find yourself struggling, and you're going to find yourself wondering why you're not getting the results that you want to get. Okay, so let me get back into it. So body recomposition. So the first one is energy balance. You need to be able to ensure whether you're sitting in a caloric deficit or a caloric surplus. So the way I go about it with energy balance, there's a primary objective and a secondary objective. If you have a lot of body fat, then your primary objective is going to be fat loss, and your secondary objective is going to be muscle gain. If you don't have too much fat on you, then your primary objective is going to be muscle building, and then your second objective is going to be fat loss. All right, so once we determine our primary objective and our secondary objective, then we need to put ourselves in an accurate deficit or a surplus, whatever that might be. So with the accurate deficit and surplus, then I like to call a slight deficit, and I just call it a slight deficit, and a deep deficit, okay? A slight deficit, a deep deficit. So the slight deficit is negative 250 calories. So that's like, I don't have too much body fat and I'm trying to put on muscle at the same time. So I don't want to have a drastic, deep deficit, because then that's going to allow me to lose some weight overall. I might lose some muscle at the same time. So I'm going to go in a negative 250 deficit. That's 250 calories lower than my maintenance calories, okay? A deep deficit is 500. So if you have more body fat, then you're gonna go in a deep deficit. You're gonna drop your calories even lower than your maintenance calories or your total daily energy expenditure, and then that's gonna allow you to get more body fat off and get to your goal relatively a little bit quicker. Okay? Making sure there's no questions for me to answer. If there's any questions, ask it. If I missed it, just ask it again. I can't see at the same time that I'm teaching, so forgive me, but let me know. Okay? So that once we find out if we're going to be, so now we know our primary objective and we know our primary objective and our secondary objective, and we know if we're going to be in a slight deficit or a deep deficit, or on the reverse, if it's a slight surplus or a deep surplus. So when we're trying to put on weight, and if we're on the more slimmer side, we need to figure out, do we want to put on a lot of weight? Mostly for people who are looking to put on weight, I would go in a slight surplus. I wouldn't really say to be in a deep surplus. I would say slight surplus, but it depends. And I would do it gradually, so we're not putting on fat at the same time that we're putting on muscle. Okay. High protein intake. So when I first started doing body recomposition specifically, and I started tracking, I realized that my protein intake was very low. And that's the reality for most people. They think that they're having the adequate amount of protein, but they're actually not. If you were to track how much protein you're having on a day-to-day basis, majority of people, their protein intake is low, or it's lower than what is required in order for them to have a successful body recomp, okay? So what should you be having? So research says 0.8 to 1, okay? That's for you newbies who are going to the gym or just getting started, just want to do what's adequate, 0.8 to 0.1. For those of you who are doing body recomposition, who want to put on muscle, who want to be in the best shape of their life, minimum, I say you want to be doing 1, okay? And then that can start going up, depending on your level of advancement in body recomposition or with the gym. You can go, or with nutrition, you can go to 1.1, 1.2, anything to 1.5 even. I think I've been up to 1.5, right? So, but you want to make sure that your base is 1 gram of protein for 1 pound of body weight on you. What does that mean? If you are 150 pounds, you need to be ensuring that you're having 150 grams of protein a day. Now, if you're 300 pounds, you don't need to have 300 grams of protein a day, okay? You don't, it's not necessary. Once you pass a certain limit, I would say 180 to 200 is adequate, okay? But if you're 160, you're 150, you're 115, you want to make sure that you're having a minimum of that amount of grams in protein per day for you to have a successful body recomp, okay? If anyone has any questions, do let me know. If you're tapping in for the first time, we're talking about body recomposition. You need to lose weight. How much weight do you need to lose? Talk to me. We'll get into that. Thirdly, train with intensity. So a lot of people are going to the gym and they're lifting weights, so they think it's okay. Hey, I'm showing up to the gym, I'm doing what I need to do, so I should see the results that I want to see. No, with body recomposition, like I said earlier, it's a very specific process. You don't get to say, I want to do this and that and get the result that I want. It doesn't care about what you want. There's a scientific process and you need to abide by that. So training with intensity is one of them. If you're plateauing, if your body's not changing, that's an indicator to you that you're not training with intensity. And there's a lot of times, like the gym, I was consistent. I've been consistent all my life in the gym, but was I training with intensity? No. Okay, I wasn't necessarily going in there and like lifting and making sure that I was maximizing my reps and really feeling it on my last 2 to 3 reps. I wasn't doing that, so my body wasn't really changing to the best of my ability like it should. It could have been. Okay, so I understood that I gotta train with intensity. What that looks like and what that means is, like, if you're doing a set of 12 reps, by the time you're at 9 and you're doing those last 2 to 3, 10, 11, 12, you should be burning in whatever you're doing. It should be like, like you couldn't do 3 more after that. But if I do 12 reps and I felt like, oh, if I wanted to, I could do 3 more, 5 more. You're not training with intensity. So that's an indicator that you need to do more reps, or you need to change the weight and you need to get a higher weight. Okay? So you want to go into the gym. You don't want to just be lifting weights just to come in there, just to be able to say I went in there and I did what I was supposed to do today, but you're able to say I trained with intensity. I really feel it. And for ladies, sometimes I know it might be intimidating to go in there, and it's like you don't want to feel that pain, but it's necessary. You want to make sure that you're going in there and you're challenging yourself. That's how you're going to get the most successful body recomp. That's how you're going to look sexy like me and have these abs, have this muscle. That's the key to it, okay? Cardio accelerator. So I didn't understand cardio when I first started. I just thought if I just ran, the more I ran, the more body fat that I was going to be able to burn and get to this leaner physique that I have right now. I don't think I'm my leanest right now, but recently I was 6%, but I'm just chilling right now because I got the 6% body fat. I did a photo shoot, so I'm having a little bit of a break, okay? But I thought that if I just go to the gym and I just do I just run on the treadmill, or even running outside. I was doing runs outside early morning with my homeboy. I thought that would get me to the goal that I wanted to get, which was to get more lean. Okay, I've achieved it now, but I didn't achieve it doing what I was doing. That was very incorrect, an incorrect method. What that does is, if you're not super big, like if you're not in the 200 pluses, 300 pluses, what a lot of cardio and a lot of running is going to do in high intensity cardio is just, it's going to shrink you overall as a human being. That wasn't the goal that I was looking to do, okay? Brianna, what up? Brianna's always in my life. Brianna, what's good? New time, different time. What's going on? So yeah, what that's going to do is that it's going to make you shrink overall and make you a smaller human being, okay? You don't want that if you're trying to just burn a little bit of body fat and put on muscle. What you want to do is you want to do low intensity, steady state cardio. So the best method for that is walking. You want to make sure that you're walking on a day-to-day basis as much as you can. You want to make sure that when you're on the treadmill, you're doing an incline, you're doing low intensity, you're not doing too much like running. You should be able to do cardio at the same pace that you could talk. So you're doing cardio, but it's at a pace where you can have a conversation or hold a conversation. What's going on? Morning. Hopefully you're well. Hopefully everything's good with you. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you're doing cardio at a pace that you can hold a conversation. It's very light, it's very low intensity. You don't need to hate it. You can simply go for a walk every day. That's the best form of cardio for fat loss, okay? 5, adequate sleep. Sleep is so important, and it's something that I'm consistently working on myself. I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an artist, I'm a family man. There's so many things going on that I try to contain that it makes it hard to get the adequate amount of sleep that one should, right? But I've been working on my sleep. I've been trying to increase it more than it's been. But let me tell you how important sleep is. I found the research that I was reading. They said that sleep, an extra hour of sleep is actually more important to the body and its recovery for body recomposition or just in general than an extra day of going to the gym and working out. Let that sink in. So if I want to put on more muscle, I'm more likely to put on more muscle getting 1 hour of sleep than going to the gym and doing 1 whole extra hour of working out and lifting weights. That's how important sleep is. So I know women often get more sleep than men. I don't know if you can sleep, but if you can increase your sleep, sleep is important for your heart too. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm good. You said you're on coffee number 3. Jeez, okay. Yeah, and sleep is important for your heart. But I'm glad to hear that you're good though. And it's an invisible wifey. You know what's going on, Brianna. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're getting sleep, okay? When I was younger, I was like always running around doing as much stuff. I didn't think sleep was important. Now that I'm getting older, I'm trying to dial in on my sleep more. If you're getting older as well, you should do the same, okay? Sleep is important. It's your body's way of recovering. if you want to, like, your body goes through whatever it goes through the day, it gets beat up, it gets stressed out, and then it needs to recharge. If it's not, it's, imagine, let's say like an electric car. If you're driving an electric car a whole day and then you charge it for 1 to 2 hours and then you try to go back on road the next day, it's not going to be able to do what you need to do to get you to where you need to get to, because you didn't charge it for an adequate time long enough for it to do what you need to do. And then you're not going to be mad when you're getting on the road and well, you might be mad, but if you get on the road the next day and then your battery's like, oh, your car's shutting off because it doesn't have battery, whose fault is that? That's your fault, because you didn't charge it long enough for it to be able to perform the way it needs to perform. Holy, yeah, that's a lot. Like 9 hours of sleep. Yeah, but for 3 hours of, for 3 more years of life, I would take that. I would do what I need to do to be able to live for 3 more years of life. Okay? Your why. Your why is very important. Why your why is important? Because, like I said at the beginning of this, body recomposition is a very strategic practice. It's not you do 1 + 1 and you get 2. Therefore, it's more challenging. It's a little bit harder. If you don't have a strong why, when you don't see the results that you want to see, you're going to give up. Now, I noticed when I started researching at the beginning of my my phase of being an online coach, I was studying why people give up, what's the most goal that people want to reach, which is get rid of their body fat. People give up, and that's the reason that they don't see their goal. They don't get rid of this body fat. They don't slim this midsection. They don't get rid of the fupa, the lower belly area, because they give up. In order to achieve the goal that you want to achieve when it comes to your fitness, you need to put your head down and you need to keep on doing the thing over and over and over again repeatedly. You need to not care about what's happening. You could do that as long as you know that you have a structure that's correct for you and is customized to you. But if you don't and you're guessing, then you're going to be stuck. Okay? So your why is very important. For me, I'm an online fitness coach. I want when people see me to be like, okay, that guy looks like he knows what he's doing. That's why I'm always on my nutrition. I'm always on my fitness. I cannot afford to let myself look sloppy. There's a lot of other coaches out there that look very sloppy. Their body looks adequate. And it's like, I'm thinking personally, would I want that person to train me, right? But to each his own. Maybe somebody likes the way they make jokes or their coaching method, whatever it might be. My wife for giving up is always not seeing progress fast enough. Yes, and that's a lot of people's why, right? That's a lot of people's why, Brianna. They don't see the progress fast enough that they want to see, and then they start questioning, is what I'm doing even working? Like, should I be doing this? Okay, forget it, and then snack on their favorite foods. That's why, like, in my coaching program, the first thing I do is I make sure that my clients see results in the first 30 days. It's essential for me to have them see results in the first 30 days, because then past 30 days, I could always be like to them, hey, you know what it's like to get results. You did X, Y, Z and you got results. So you not getting results past those 30 days, that's on you. Because you know that when you did what I asked you to do, you saw results. So that's one of the things that's a primary objective for me, to get my clients to see weight loss or fat loss or weight gain relatively quickly, so they know that the process that I have works. Secondly, you want to make sure, I want to see the scale 50 pounds less a week, not 3 pounds. See, like but listen, Brianna, you have to take into consideration, and I know you're joking. Well, but you have to take into consideration that you didn't put on 50 pounds in a week. Right? You have to take it into consideration. A lot of people want to see a lot of weight loss quickly. You have to take in that it took you an amount of time to put that on. So you cannot, in reverse, want to see a drastic amount drop down relatively quickly. Right? Think about, on average, what you might have put on every week, and then you might have put on 3 pounds every week. Right? So losing 3 pounds a week is actually very good, because you're supposed to lose 1 pound a week. But when you have higher weight, you lose more. Yeah, I'm glad you get to see it that way. A lot of you guys need to look at it from this perspective. It took you X amount of time to get to where you're at. okay? I didn't get here overnight. It took me X amount of time to get here, right? But before I was even here, it took me X amount of time to get to where I was before. So take that into consideration and then reverse it. If it took me X amount of time to get to where I was that I want to leave from and get to somewhere else, at least minimum give yourself that same time frame. It might be quicker, it might be longer, I don't know. But give yourself that grace and that same time frame to say, okay, cool, I'm gonna give myself this time to get to where I desire to be. Okay, yeah. If you went from 380 to 160, yeah, in 2 years, getting a lot back. And that's always gonna happen. Life is always gonna happen. But congratulations on being able to drop down that 380 to 160. But as you can see from that trend, it took time. It was gradual. You didn't get from 360 to 160 in like 2 months, right? I know we all want to see quick results, but actually, what I like to do is I like to encourage people actually to not even think about results, to eliminate results. When I set a goal for myself, I don't really like to give myself a time frame, because I feel like if I don't hit it in that time frame, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be checking the scale. There's going to be anxiety. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm doing... T, what up? I like to make sure that I'm doing... I have a structure that works for me, and I know I'm doing the thing, and then I just go in that direction. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm trying to body recomp. I'm trying to burn fat and build muscle. Is my energy balance every day right? Am I having high protein? Am I training with intensity? Am I doing cardio? Am I having an adequate amount of sleep? Do I have an important why? Am I doing this bonus? I just try to make sure that I'm doing those things that I'm supposed to, and I just head in the direction of where I'm supposed to go. And then a month later, I'm like, oh shit, like I dropped body fat. 2 months later, oh shit, like I'm looking like, okay, I'm putting on muscle. Oh, 3 months, and then it's like, it's always a surprise to me, and there's not a lot of anxiety, there's nothing that's holding me back. So that's the thing that I want to say. That's the thing I want to say. Okay, so then we talk about your why, okay? We talked about your why already. We did your why. So the last is the bonus. The bonus is intermittent fasting. So that was something that I explored relatively new in all my years of training. And intermittent fasting works very well. If you're an individual who's busy, it's going to work well for you too as well. If you don't like to cook too much, it's going to work well for you as well. What you do is you pack your calories and your macronutrients into a time window. So let's say if you're intermittent, okay. And then another benefit of it is it allows your body to burn the stored fat for a longer period of time. So instead of consuming food in a larger window, when we consume food, our body is working to burn that. Our body is a machine. It's always working. That's why, again, sleep is important, because we need that. We need this machine to rest to be able to function well the next day. But while you're sleeping, your body is also working a little bit, okay? You got to keep that in mind. And while you're sleeping, it's burning energy. It's burning fat. So when we prolong our period of when we're going to eat, if we do a window like, let's say 12 to 8, that means when we wake up in the morning, our body is still burning fat, stored fat in our body from when we wake up till 12, as opposed to if we had a breakfast at 9 a.m., then it's like, okay, cool. Now it realizes that we had a breakfast and then got to start working to burn that, okay? I do the breakfast. I don't do intermittent fasting all the time. It depends on what I got going on or the goal. Then I'll do intermittent fasting. But it works very well. I see myself lose a lot of weight really quickly or burn fat relatively quickly. If I eat between a 12 to 8 window, I'm having a heavy lunch. I'm having a couple snacks in between 12 to 8. And then I'm having a decent dinner at around 6. And then that's it. So from 8 to 12 the next day, my body is just burning what it consumed. So intermittent fasting, it saves you time. It allows your body to burn more than it regularly would. There's a lot of benefits of intermittent fasting. Okay, so make sure that you do that. Shout out to T for sharing the live. As a fitness professional, what's your opinion on gastric bypass or the sleeve? Just curious. So I don't know too much about that. I'll say that. I do understand that surgery procedure, but I'm not too knowledgeable on that. So I don't like to talk on things that I'm not too knowledgeable on, because a lot of people, they jump on the internet, and they just be saying anything. My whole approach is I don't talk on something that I'm not like super knowledgeable on. So Brianna, I could do some research and I could get more knowledge on it, and at that time is when I would like basically state my piece just to make sure I'm giving adequate information. But right now I'm not too knowledgeable on it. I know I've talked to a lot of people that have told me they've got that procedure. I know what it's like, but I don't know the benefits, the cons, and all that stuff on it. So I don't want to say too much on that. If you're joining for the first time, I'm here every Monday morning talking to you about fitness and nutrition. I am an online fitness coach, helping you get into the best shape of your life. I work with busy professionals in order to ensure that they have a successful body recomp, burn fat, build muscle, and boost energy. Okay, so today, that was basically the session for today. 6 fundamentals of body recomp, as well as a bonus. If you found value in this, I want to make sure that you guys are here. Okay, I am here every Monday morning at 6:30. Okay, I will be here at 6:30. So if you're stopping by and you want to learn some information on body recomp, pass through and I'll be able to help you. Perfect. No doubt. I'll definitely do that. I'll do my research on it. Okay. I'll do my research. You came out and hanged out with me for a little bit. Brianna, shout out to you. T, shout out to you. Again, I am here every Monday. Okay, so you can pass by through on Mondays and we'll get into it. And I'll make sure if you have any questions pertaining to fitness, nutrition, you want to lose your stomach, you want to lose that fupa, you want to build muscle. If you have any questions pertaining to fitness and nutrition, come to the Monday Lives and I'll be able to answer and give you some knowledge on what I have knowledge on. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay blessed and I'll see you guys soon.